Captain's Log Supplemental.
Hey Jeremy, you know those race cars you're busy building?
Yeah, I do. I
You,
got one
you,
that I'm looking at every day.
you know what I don't see you working on?
You don't see me working on the amazing Sentinel system yet.
That's true. It would take all of 10 minutes for you to have one.
And it's very quick and easy to install.
It is. It is. And we could watch you when we are not at the race with you and see how you're doing. And then we can call you up when you get out of the car and tell you everything you did wrong.
And I love that because so many years I've been driving and not been able to see what I'm doing.
I know.
And now we can.
I know. You know what I'd like to do with the video? My most favorite thing is I take the video and I load it on YouTube and then I send it to my coach and say, look at 26 minutes and 17 seconds. Look at this one lap and tell me what I can do better. And every single time, you know what they say?
Everything.
Exactly. Precisely. So with the Sentinel system, you get instantaneous feedback plus useful feedback that unfortunately is accurate for my driving.
I think it's accurate for all of our driving.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's probably true. Yep. But you need to get one in your car, sir.
Yes, I do. And with the discount code that you're going to tell everybody, they can save 10% on this awesome system.
Yep. Trouble free. I haven't had an issue getting video every time we've gone out with the Sentinel. It's always worked. Can't say the same for some of the other systems we've tried. So I don't know. It's on the podcast notes down there. Don't do it while you're driving, though. We like to have our listeners live. It's good.
Who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe, comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. And their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher. And our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Scripchuk. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
I would say about a few more minutes, and I think we should start. Oh,
I
Cliff.
think.
Yay, Cliff!
I'm here. I'm here.
She does not get that excited when I'm on the podcast. Just
I don't know.
FYI.
I don't know.
Just FYI.
I'm glad he's here.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Miss Vicki, you're doing the intro then. Haha.
Ah,
Go.
really? Oh, okay. Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training podcast. My name is Vicki Fisher. I don't know. I forget it. Go ahead,
God,
do it.
You're terrible at this.
I know I am.
How
Go
many have
ahead.
we done?
I know.
And yet you
I was
still
host-
throw her to
Hold
the
on.
wolves.
Well, he kind of caught me off guard.
Okay.
No,
On God.
Just go ahead. Just go ahead and do it.
Wow, this is terrible. Okay, very
It
well.
is.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training podcast. I'm going to be the host for this episode. My name is Bill. Who else is hosting?
I'm Vicki.
You just got to do it with the Bobby
With
Brady,
the R.
the
with
Bobby
R.
Brady voice change in there. And
Okay.
it just gets you thrown. So, Miss Vicki, what do we got going
Yes.
here? This is your plan.
This is my plan. This is I'm so excited about this podcast. This is a new team that we shepherded in. They came and they had many questions when they started. We took them under our wing, and they did, I have to say, phenomenal. They did phenomenal.
Dum, dum.
So they did
Phenomenal.
phenomena. That's right. So anyway, this is Queer Steering Gears.
We're shifting gears.
Queer
shifting
shifting
gears.
gears. Queer
steer 'em
shifting
too.
What are
gears.
you doing to your gears?
I know.
700 episodes.
Queers
Nothing.
shifting gears. And I would like to dub this one, not to mention that, again, new team, that this is, how did we call it?
What you're saying
Yes.
in the longest amount of time, because you still haven't introduced them, is that we had an intro podcast with an intro team and we missed stuff.
Yes, we did.
Okay. So
I'm
who's here?
afraid you did miss one or two things that
Yeah.
would have been quite valuable.
Yes, these are
It's hard
new
to remember
team.
just how dumb people are when they're starting. I mean, how much they don't know.
Yes, so this being a new team, this is new team questions.
Part 2.
That part 2. So I'm very, very excited. We have Tim and Cliff from the team who are all going to go through this journey together. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
So-
I've been a long time listener, so I had lots of moments of, oh wow, lots to learn.
I think that's
Yes.
code for he wants another check. But anyway.
No,
worries.
I just want to say about this team, before we get into a lot of questions that they're going to be asking. This particular team, we did work with them to get them to the track and help them answer all their questions, any kind of car builds, any safety questions, and of the likes. And when I went to the track and we all got in the same place together, we managed to get them into a garage next to us. Just so we can kind of like keep an eye on them, because the way everything was kind of set, they were really far away and it was, a little bit difficult for everybody to be together. So they end up in a slot next to us or right near us. And every time I wanted to go over to help this team, they already had their crap together. They did. They may not think that they were doing a good job. They may not think that they were performing as it, but they had all their bases covered. They did everything right as best. I mean, when they were in the paddock and on the track, driving is a whole other thing. But when it came to them building the team, putting it together, their safety equipment, the way their shop area was organized, the way they managed everything, it may have felt like chaos to them, but it was only because they weren't used to it. They did so good. So good. Couldn't have been prouder.
Oh, love to hear that. Thank you very much.
So we're not here to talk about what they did well. We're here to talk about what we did poorly.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Tim, you saved me time. You gave me notes. I have notes.
You do have notes.
I do. I love when guests prepare my podcast for me and I just have to read because I can read, not a problem.
Yeah.
So one thing we did not go over was driving predictability and the racing line. So
yeah, so something that we ran into all weekend long. We had often like meeting new people, introduce ourselves, like, oh hey, hi, like this is our first time here. Every single person that we told that it was our first time doing a lemons race said the same two things to us every time. The first thing that they said was, don't expect to finish.
Yeah.
We did finish.
Yeah.
Kind of proud of that. The second thing that they said was, the only thing that us racers care about, that we want you newbies to do, is to drive predictably.
Yep.
Please just drive predictably.
Yep.
But never once over the entire weekend did anyone say what the hell predictable is. Because for some of us coming off the streets of Ohio and like in the thruway, it's like I'm used to paint lines and shit. And I've played on my racing sim. I've played on a PlayStation. I've played in online lobbies. But I don't know what the hell predictable means when it comes to an endurance racing thing. It's like, okay, does that mean stay over to the left? Don't make any sudden moves? Does that mean drive the line? Does that mean drive slow? Does that mean like wave for people to pass? What the fuck does predictable mean?
So honestly, this is a really good question for new drivers.
So the very simple answer, and I quote and will impersonate him. One of our favorite guests, one of the most knowledgeable race drivers and coaches we know, Ross Bentley. Tim, it's very easy. It depends.
I hate that he says that all the time.
Oh.
Right.
But he's always right.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. You've got typically Lemons has, especially where we are, north of 100 cars. Okay, so you've got a couple different paradigms depending on traffic, or if you're driving in another series where there's less cars. If there's nobody there, predictably is the racing line. If there's people there, there is no racing line. There's more lanes, right? So if you're in a pack of 6 cars going around a tight turn or any turn really, and you decide you're on the outside and you're going to apex, we are going to have an issue because somebody's going to get driven into, or you're going to get driven into, one or the other. So you can't do that. So you kind of make the best you can. You leave racing room. You don't make any quick adjustments or non-intuitive adjustments. Communication with your hands, very nice. You can use one finger. That's usually less predictable, but at least we know what you're thinking. You can point to the left if you're in a left-hand drive car and tell them to pass on the left. You can point over the roof to the right and tell them to pass on the right-hand side. A, they know you're there. B, they know what side you want them to pass on, so you should be making accommodations to them. And C, they know you're there. You know they are there. It's amazing how many cars I pass. And I'm coming up and I'm like, they have no idea I'm here. Not a clue. Not a clue. So the other thing is if you're busy and you don't know what to do yet, because I don't know if it affected you guys personally, but the first time you're on track, it's mental overload.
Mm-hmm.
If you just give them a quick tap to the rear view mirror, it tells them, hey, they see me. And everybody loves to be seen, don't they?
Yeah.
So these are kind of things you need to do. And then it's just, no quick movements. No, oh my God, somebody's behind me. I want them to pass. I'm going to slam the brakes. Not the best plan. Not the best plan. So just be smooth and predictable.
Yeah. So after the weekend of racing, because at Lemons, like if you were doing the point buys and everything, oh my gosh, your hand would be out the window the entire time, wouldn't it? Like constantly waving, like, okay, pass me.
Miss Vicki, would you care to tell him what your arm looked like after your first Lemons race?
Okay, my first Lemons race, I was in a Capri.
74.
A 74 Capri that didn't have like the little railings. It was just like metal. It didn't have the cushioning. And I did so many point buys that the underside of my arm, which unbeknownst to me, I couldn't figure out what it was, looked like tiger stripes because I kept hitting
Tiger
it.
stripe bruises.
Oh
Right.
my gosh.
Which actually goes into another question they presented us with. Were common hand signals that you find on the track. Now you'll get these from HPDEs, but Bill can go over them.
Well, one of the things that I think we should preface this with is we go into Lemons racing and it's like, there are no point buys. It's open passing.
It is.
Here's the things you need to know. These are the flags. Everything else is not Lemon sanctioned, blah, blah, blah.
Yes,
Well, it's not
So
required.
someone got out there and
But
got
welcome.
a little confused.
yeah. It's not required,
It-
but
But-
sometimes it's helpful.
Think of it this way. If you're passing somebody, would you like to know that they see you? That would be lovely. Would it be even better if the person was so kind to tell you, like, hey, go this way, or
'Cause
hey, go that
I'm-
way?
Yeah, just like
Fuck.
listen, I ain't your person. You can go around. So that
As a
just
newbie-
stops the guessing.
Attempting to look at somebody, seeing somebody tapping their rear view mirror never was going to happen.
Right.
It's
That's
just
okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
new track, new whatever. Oh my gosh. But speaking of new track, I think Cliff ran into something with hand signals and
Yeah. I was actually following you, Vicky, when you would tap on the
Yes.
roof of your car, and I had
Yes.
no idea what you were talking
Okay.
about. Yeah, that was a
She was
Like,
telling you
I-
to tighten your helmet. That was what it was.
Yeah, that's right. So
one of
that
them a little bit.
was okay. So when I had gone out, just for all the users, that our intention was we were shaking down a truck. We weren't really in there to race to win. We were there to race and have a good time. So we weren't really in a competitive mode. So I ended up coming up against Cliff, and I noticed that Cliff was he wasn't no listen, he wasn't struggling, but I wanted to help him figure out how to drive on the track. So I pulled in front of him and I was tapping the top of my roof, which was a signal was follow me closely. So by doing that, you would just follow me and I would and you and I would just be a team. And then I would help you drive, learn how to drive predictably.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
but I had forgotten that, he might not have known that if he didn't take any courses, and that's called lead follow.
yeah, I
So
was
basic.
I
Yeah.
had assumed it was like oh pass me or do something else. I had
Yeah.
thought something was going on. I was like
Yeah.
um
So,
there
so
was a
next
few
time yeah, go ahead.
there was a few very confused radio calls back to the pits of like what is something going on with the team? Our radio was I think out at the time, so that was very helpful to hear back the static. But yeah,
And none of us could help because we're all newbies. Why would we know
That's
what these
right.
hand
yeah.
signals mean?
So
Sorry about that, Cliff.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
so the Vicky was trying to get you. She was going to exaggerate exact placement of her car, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
you could follow the exact placement of the car, and she could demonstrate what you could and should be doing, especially when
Oh,
cars are going by. So
it made
Mhm.
perfect sense as soon as we got back to the pit and Vicky told
Yeah.
me, "Oh, this is what I was doing." I was like, "Oh, that
So
yeah."
next time we get together, Cliff.
Yes.
yes, so
Yeah,
okay,
being able to follow a car was super valuable.
Oh yeah.
Of like the one that wasn't insanely fast, but still faster than the other people, so that you could at least like, for me at least, it was a confidence thing because I was like, I don't want to be assertive and push people out of the way,
yeah.
like push people out of the way to like pass them. Like I was happy to sit behind a slow car, but when somebody else came through, I was like, oh, they're making a hole. I'll go past. I'll follow them.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, right now, your job is just to learn how to drive on a track. You guys
And
should not
don't
be,
hit people.
yeah, you guys are not in a
Mm.
position right now to race as much as you are to learn at the moment. And you guys did well.
You did. All right. So one of the things that we have as a hint on our website, which Tim, I'm surprised you didn't look at my website because I know you did. You have mirrors. Mirrors are important, especially rear view mirrors and side mirrors. So on our website, garageheroesandtraining.com, no Gmail at that time. Haha, faked everybody out. We have our preferred mirror type, and mirror placement because we are
Mhm.
very strongly in favor of the convex largest mirror you can fit and not mounted where the normal rear view mirror is. We mount it towards the passenger side so that it will actually see around behind your head because in the rear view mirror, the last thing you need to see is your head. It doesn't help you. You should know where your head is. And it's got this
Yeah.
big old white, usually marshmallow helmet on top of it. So it's taking up all the mirror. So if you put it off to the side, way over there, just far enough so you can reach it, it'll peek around your head. And you literally don't need, I'm not saying don't use them, you don't need
Mhm.
side mirrors. It will cover the entire back.
Yeah.
So you say that, and wonderfully, we did show up with the convex
Mm-hmm.
Longacre mirror
Mhm.
mounted. It was in the center, but I still used it for the right, left, and right behind me, and it was so helpful.
So
Yes.
And
Yeah.
helpful.
yet, at the same time, I was still checking both my side
You
mirrors,
should.
and I'd put those tiny little convex mirrors in
The
because it's like,
dots.
hey, those are helpful. They're fucking useless
Oh yeah.
because now we've got a flat mirror and a convex mirror. Now we've got two data sources of information. I don't
Yeah.
care where they are. I just care, is there someone next to me or not, is what I've learned. And I'm literally in the process right now of installing
Mhm.
the extra large bubble side mirrors. And I've literally taped off the OEM mirrors so that there's no potential of distraction. There's only one source of data to reduce
Mhm.
our intake of information.
That's why we don't like the wink mirrors, the ones with like the 5 panels on the inside, because you'll have a
Oh
car
yeah,
have two or
took
three
that shit
mirrors.
out immediately. The car came with
Yeah.
Yeah.
that and it was so distracting.
Yeah. That's fine. Let that go.
Yeah,
Because
that was horrible.
through prior training in several other sports, my eyes fixate on movement, and the wink mirror is just like, wow, I'm being passed. I got three of the same car behind me. You know, that car's really fast, but it just drove me crazy. It's just eye fatigue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, when you go in on Monday after a long race weekend of endurance racing, and everybody's like, why do you look so tired. Why do all you did?
Why are you drooling?
Why? How come I ask you a question and you have like a 30-second pause before answering the question? All you did was drive. You have two different bullet points on your lovingly provided podcast outline. One about you were tired for days. So let's talk post-race hangover. Cliff.
Um, I actually didn't. I mean, this is not my first time doing endurance racing, so I was actually doing pretty good after the day
Yeah.
after.
You knew what to expect.
Yeah. But like that's learned through multiple week-long college trips of just like here's how you compete and conserve energy and remain hydrated. Don't
Yeah.
remember to actually eat food.
Nap when you can.
Reminding people to, yes, you are actually hungry. You don't think you are, but you need to eat. And here's a gallon of water. Chug as much as you can. Post stint, so we know you at least have 30 minutes to digest it. Big important things that I think we might have needed to remind our team a little bit more of.
Yep. I think that was something that we excelled at, is checking in on each other, because at one point we did discover, like, one of our team members is like, hey, I didn't eat lunch. It's like, okay, go eat. You're not allowed to drive the car until I know that you've eaten a full meal and hydrated. And they're like, they were like, yeah, I can. It's like, how about I motivate you? And they're like, I probably could use some motivation. And so then I threatened them with not being allowed to get back in the car until hey, you have to be ready. And they're like, this is well motivated.
Yeah, getting defensive for not eating was something that was that is a hard thing to break during competitions.
But it's also, in the case of our weekend, we were always it felt like we were always on the edge of like the brink of whatever. So we were always in full focus, crazy, go, go, go. And that's when you never stop to like drink, eat, whatever. And that's when it's most necessary. And so like at one point we just like stepped away, went for a walk, got some food, came back, and it's like we got a breath of fresh air and like we recovered, and now our brains are processing better and we could actually be productive together.
And that's a very, very common reaction and sensation when you first start racing, because everything is important. You are so overstimulated. You have so much responsibilities that aren't effectively doled out yet. So nobody really knows their place on the team exactly. So everything is important. And of course, the sensory overload that you're experiencing at the same time. But, just know that as you go further down the road, everything becomes a little bit more chill, a little bit more predictable. All your systems are in place. You know how they operate, and everything kind of relaxes. So it doesn't hit you.
Systems are never in place, my dear. The systems are always upgrading constantly, which is what I drive you crazy.
A lot of us didn't know what to expect. It's like we knew what racing is, but we didn't know what endurance racing is. Like I had a bit of experience because I was on a crew for another team. So I got to see what the work was like, what the meals were like, what fueling was like. But everyone else on my team hadn't like been at a Lemons event or like this sort of, we hadn't done our own endurance racing type thing, but it was different. And so it's like, everything was everything at the same time. So everything was important, everything was new, overwhelming. And that was actually something that we found was really valuable, was the emotional regulation. Overwhelming was having a place to go. I think Cliff, you spoke about that really well.
Yeah, the having a place to hide away from everyone else when things do get a little bit too much, like sitting in the garage when the car's not there and the other teams are doing their thing is a place to hide, but it's not the same as we have an RV. We're going to go sit in the RV with the lights out for 10 minutes. That was significantly more valuable than I was expecting it to be, of just the how loud things were. There's always something going on. If it wasn't our team in crisis mode, it was another team in crisis mode, and that energy is wild.
It's the best way I've always described it is that it hits you like a fire hose for like the entire weekend.
Yeah.
So but having those quiet moments really does help. And Bill is famous, I think, on our team for just like, where's Bill? Well, he slipped off to go take a nap, so he will always go and take like a 20 minute to half hour nap in the trailer, um, just to recenter.
People suck the life out of me.
He's a robot.
Yeah.
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 Something near and dear to my heart: organization, checklists, devices, organization, whiteboards. You guys have about 10 different bullet points on that.
Yeah. I sort of was in charge of organization, as like the team like initial show runner. I was the person that showed up with everything. And also as a former listener, I had a few ideas of things of like, okay,
Mhm.
have a whiteboard. Didn't realize how important that whiteboard was going to be in terms
Mhm.
of like, you know, you all have used whiteboards for things like, okay, this person is going to go out then, this person is going to be responsible for fueling during that stint, etc. No. Our whiteboard was like, okay, what part is damaged? Where do we have to do this? What is the next thing on the list? What is dependent on that thing? What are our numbers that we've got here and what numbers do we need to get? We didn't have time to organize things like who's going to go to what, but it was really great to have the whiteboard just to write things down in an area that everyone can see. Because I had a
Hmm.
notebook, but being able to share it and have it be visual, or like when another team came over and coached us on something, it's like here's your apex, and like they wrote down certain things, and like this is, I forget what it was exactly that they were coaching us on, but they were
Uh,
able to, it was something about corners,
it
but they were
was
Hmm.
able,
How you
the
go in and how you exit.
it was the
no,
traction thing. It was braking versus acceleration in corners
Okay.
okay,
to help with controlling the car.
yeah,
The
Friction circle.
a friction circle, and it was like the traction percentage or something.
Hmm.
Like
yeah.
if
And so it was great for them to write it down and display it for us, and that was a great tool for communication, but also organization of just like I showed up, I brought one table. And I brought all my tools and I brought 5 totes. All of the tools were labeled, all of the totes were labeled with what
Hmm.
was in them, but they were all spread out on the ground. And so it's
Yeah.
like, hey, I didn't have anything to place to set. I had one small table to set things on. Being able to set down tools, being able to set down the commonly used like radios, being able to just put stuff old places, so valuable, and we needed that. And it's not something that you expect to need when you're going and racing, but like just a place to set my helmet down, set a
Right.
wrench I was just using, or this pump or something that's very necessary, my radio when I'm going to help somebody in the car.
Yeah.
So
So
important.
we found that is also helpful is to have a coat tower. Is a nice place to hang your Hans. Is a nice place to hang all your helmets. It's a nice centered place. We've actually brought it. We've had uh we've had a team that actually brought it, and I was like, that's a great idea. So it's a nice
Yeah,
place. It's right there. You grab them on the way out. Everything's in one spot.
that makes
Um,
total sense, especially if like the weekend we were running, it was cold. So it's like I had to take off all my winter clothes, leave them on the ground, and change into my race gear. And there's my pile of shit
right.
just sitting
Yeah.
there.
So it does help. And of course the rack that they had the uh Jeremy brings a rack where he hangs his uniforms right there in the garage,
Yeah.
especially if you have to travel to go to
Get like a
your
close
trailer.
rack.
Yeah.
Close
Yeah.
rack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that as well. Yeah. That, yeah. So it's like that sort of organization, like makes sense. The other sorts of organizations that I wasn't expecting was like, we had to find a part. It was really hard to search on our phones. And it's like somebody threw it's like, hey, download the apps. They're way better. You can search by location and it'll just tell you whether it's there or not. So it's like having our parts. It would have been so helpful to have a laptop in the garage when we were hunting things down because it's just like trying to get the information easily was really challenging. And like getting all of that was difficult, though I did have the Haynes repair manual and that came in super handy because it's once again like being able to visualize and show somebody, it's like, this is what it should look like. Here is a photo right here. Being able to communicate using that tool for communication was really necessary.
Oh,
actually,
nice.
it kind of loops back. We did have a laptop in the garage. We had two of them. We just didn't have any flat surfaces to put them on that weren't also covered in grease.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or a
So
So
chair to sit down.
Yeah, that's we didn't have many chairs.
So we have kind of our table policy that minimum. We have 2 for the garage and 2 for the paddock. So we go to a race, we have 4 minimum, and if we have more people, we'll get more.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah. So and the 2 that we're referring to for over in the paddock is a very small. It's a narrow table that kind of holds our water coolers. And then we have a standard one that is, seats 8, I think 6 on each
So
side.
it's a 6 foot table. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the 6-foot table. And that's what we kind of have at the paddock that holds our foods, our crock pots and stuff like that. And the little narrow table would hold our water jugs. But we've since kind of moved aside on that one because Jeremy brings all the water jugs now. And then we have a super long table that we put in the garage and then a second smaller 6-foot table. So it's, yeah.
8 foot to 6 foot. It's because
Yeah.
you need surface area. And,
Yeah.
that it's amazing how everybody complains about like urban sprawl and suburban sprawl. Well, come to a paddock. It's got nothing compared to what
Yeah.
we can do.
And you know what? You don't mostly need them.
But when you
Your
do, you
tables
do.
are relatively
But when you do, you
clean,
do.
but when you do and stuff
When
gets
in the
spread,
case of
yeah.
if the weekend goes smooth, I need a table for putting out food.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
yeah,
talking
if
about
that's
things.
all you need a table for, awesome.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
in the case of our weekend, I needed a table for our toolboxes. I needed a table for writing things down into the whiteboard and organizing things. I needed a table to work on this one parts thing while somebody else was working on this other parts thing. It was, 4 tables would have been nice. Now I
Yeah.
have 2 folding tables, and now I'm thinking another 2. If I
I'm
get
trying.
them, I won't need them.
No, it's better to have one extra table than one less table.
Right.
That's true.
Mhm.
It is true.
I'm trying to find my latest whiteboard layout. I'm not sure if you're up to speed on my latest one, but anyway.
I'm coming up with my own. I've got like a 3 anyways.
That's
Yeah,
They need a whole section where they need notes and runner notes.
We might just
Oh,
end up
we
with
have-
multiple whiteboards.
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
we
that's the
have
other fun thing that we learned was we have notes, but we also we have like the notes and messages to our team, but also we have our own Discord chat where we have notes from the weekend where anything that you want to write down for later gets thrown in there. Same with data tracking. Like if you measure tire temperatures, type that shit on the data tracking. If you have a note of like, hey, we should do this next time, put that in the notes tracking thing. And
Yeah.
that's like a way to centralize all of our information as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
That doesn't need to be displayed.
Nope.
Yeah, we have a section that has the things that we need to bring next time. We make a list of all that right there on the whiteboard. Say we need more tables. We can't find the baling wire. We're missing these ratchets. And we just make a note of them. So we know to include them. And then we have a runner what needs
Things
to get
we
done.
need now or need later.
And then we have a runners list that we write the runner list and then
That's cool.
send that out.
So once you're out,
I like
you
that
get
idea.
everything because unless it's a go get this because we need this to get the car on the track again. If it's like, oh, we need magic markers and oh, we need some extra ice and oh, could you get a bottle of water and oh, could you get me a T-shirt, whatever.
Yeah, just becomes a central hub. The central communication board is actually what that is.
Yeah,
and we actually ran like our first couple races without one, and it was chaos. It was utter chaos until the whiteboard came into play. And then I'm telling you, in order for you to succeed in racing, and I brought this up to Tim before, in order to really succeed, is organization is just as important as driving.
Yeah, that actually leads into another one of the things that our teammates brought up about the weekend of like just our others of that like racing was 45% of the weekend.
If that.
Yeah.
If that.
I mean, if racing is going well, the racing is easy. That's not hard.
Yeah, that's just circles.
Yeah,
they're weird shaped circles. I'll give you that.
Yeah, they're laps. They're just laps. You're just doing laps. You're sitting and doing laps, and then if everything's going well, the rest of your team is just chilling out, conversing with other teams or helping other teams.
Yeah.
But when things go sideways, and you can't find all the stuff that you need, that's a problem.
But even going sideways, like, yeah, we had, I think, the full gambit of everything that went wrong, but also just like our first times on track.
Oh,
Like,
oh,
I wanted
grasshopper.
somebody to be there. I know, actually, and that we'll hit on that topic as well. Chris is really good at can talk about that one.
We
But
had everything go wrong that could go
we
wrong.
had
Oh,
all
you
the stuff
have
that
no
we could
idea.
handle go wrong went wrong.
That's a different story. That I'll go with.
Yeah, and so it was just like, but even when I was on track, it's like I wanted somebody to be there. Or in the case of, I was familiar with the car. I'd taken the car out before on a track day. My drivers, like the rest of the people on the team, they were calling and being like, "Hey, car's making this noise. Hey,
Yes.
this is happening. There's a yellow flag over here. Does anyone know why? Like, this is happening. Is this, am I supposed to do this? Why is that happening?" And so me or another team member are constantly like, one team member is maybe like looking out like, "Hey, you've got a yellow flag, heads up, like let's make sure we're not getting black flagged." Or I'm on there being like, "Yes, that noise is okay, it does that." Or most of the time it's like, "Hey, come in, let's just check it, it doesn't hurt." And so you, when other drivers are out, I didn't have the downtime, but it's also managing that and then being like, "Okay, that noise is okay, or there's nothing there. What? Tell me more about it." Because it's like, hey, they're trying to communicate it. It's like, "Oh, you were going around a corner in this way under braking. Yeah, it's going to squeak like that. Don't worry about it," or that sort of thing. Like, once I learned more about the information, but it was a
Mhm.
lot of like managing the rest of the team, managing the car, and then managing all of our sanity and stuff over the course of the weekend.
I
Like,
just don't even try that. Slow
yeah,
down.
Yeah.
well, it
And
was, I think we did really well with that of like respecting
right.
other people's needs and like figuring out what it is I need at the end of the day. It's like, at one point, I was like, "Hey, team, I know I'm the team mechanic. I don't know how to approach this problem. There's so many
Yeah.
problems. I don't know where to begin. I'm happy to work, but I don't have the mental capacity to start." And I was able to tell them that. Cliff stepped up and he was able to do it.
So, for our listeners, that is probably one of the things we hear the most about in terms of why people don't do it. Don't worry about it. It's not a problem. That is a self-fulfilling problem. If you have a car that's broken, there's 40 other people in that paddock area who not
Yeah.
only know how to do it, will show you how to do it, and often will elbow you out of the way so they can do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's why I joined Lemons as well, because that's the whole thing is you're always broken. And so it was like, great, we have people that are going to help us because I don't know how to actually work on a car. This is me learning everything.
Oh, you guys did amazing
Well, you
with
say that,
what
but
you were doing.
also one of the other takeaways from the weekend was when we showed up with a broken car.
No.
And
what do you mean? What
uh,
race series are you in?
Why are you
'Cause
bringing a broken
everybody's
car to a racetrack?
I didn't know it was broken until 3 days before,
That was 3 days.
and spent 3 days trying to fix it. Finally was convinced, "Hey, get here, we will help you."
That's true.
And then all of the people helped us and couldn't figure it out. And so we had people jumping in, helping us, being like, "Okay, I got this. We'll try this thing." And other people standing like, "No, no, no, let's try this." We ended up bending a 3 foot long, inch thick pry bar, and that still didn't solve our problem.
What did it end up being?
Well, so the axle was stuck. This is so little context to the listeners. Our axle, what I discovered 3 days before the race was there was a ton of transmission fluid underneath the car. The
I
seal
remember
around the axle
this.
was complete crap and it needed to be replaced. Well, I tried to pull the axle out because I had installed them earlier in the year and I didn't replace the seals. Oopsie whoopsie.
How hard can it be?
There's a little C clip on the end of the axle that holds it in, just like a tiny little thing that compresses whatever. Boop, boop. I get the axle up maybe a quarter of an inch and it's just stuck. So it's like, can't do anything. Try. I yank on it, get some slide hammer stuff. Doesn't work. My friends tell me, "Hey, we've got the right tool. We've got this little fork thing that's like a pry bar that you hammer in." Okay, we get there. We try that. They're showing us how to use it. We jam it in. It gets another half inch. Okay, we've got an inch, but it's still dead stuck. And now we're taking chips out of the transmission. Oh no. So somebody else comes up. Yeah, the fork was taking chips out of the aluminum transmission.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, we can't pry on it anymore. We're breaking it. So it's like, all right, let's get a crowbar. We ended up having 3 people all pulling together. locking this one person in with their leg muscles. And we bent this 3 foot long, inch thick crowbar. And it still was stuck. And so it's like, okay, what if we go at it from the other side? Other people are coming in. So we get like 12 different socket extensions all together. I pull the axle out of the other side of the car and let's hammer it through from the other side, beat the heck out of it as nothing.
So what
And everyone that's come
happened?
in with other different ideas, after that idea doesn't work, they go off back to their own thing because everyone's shit box is broken. And at a certain point, our last person that was like wise and helpful had to go back to their thing. And so we're all just standing there like idiots, like, we've tried everything. What
What now?
we do? All of the professionals have abandoned us. We're newbies and we couldn't figure this out. And fortunately, we just kept trying and we ended up getting a slide hammer, kept trying on it. I was like, okay, let's knock it back in and start over again. Knocking the axle back in, that C-clip was stuck between the spindles of the axle and the transmission. And when we knocked it back in, C-clip split apart. It was jammed in between the things outside of its little sleeve. And when we knocked it back in, it finally dropped into the transmission because it was now so messy and gross. Slide hammer, and it popped right out immediately. All it took was just knocking it back in and then back and forth, back and forth.
But it's
And
in the
then we
transmission now.
Yep, and we drained the transmission. Actually, most of the C-clip ended up actually coming out with it, but it popped out in such a way and popped back into its thing. And so the little bits of metal, we ended up flushing out the transmission through like the flushing holes. It was great, except I discovered that the axle seal that I had ordered was not an axle seal. When you order from AutoZone, Rock Auto, and Advanced Auto Part, and you look up axle seal for this car, it comes up with the hub bearing seal. They don't stock that part. They don't recognize it, but they just label it as axle seal anyways. But Napa actually has the axle seal for the transmission. And we were just in luck that they had the part at their warehouse and they were able to get it by 3 p.m. So we got the car banged back together and out on track for the end of the day, 15 minutes beforehand. And we were able to prove that, holy heck, we got it working and fixed, all because of a stupid little seal that turns out I had to have replaced when I pulled the axles. Oopsie, now I know. But it was still this moment of, oh my gosh, we're
still in this.
We're still in this. It was a heroic moment. It was great. It was terrifying. I was like running on so much energy. Fortunately, one of my friends was there that I've known and from Pittsburgh. He's a really good friend. And I was absolute hyped. And I know emotions and racing, you shouldn't do that. Everyone talks about don't go out when you're angry. And for me, being like, we came back from the horrible brink of victory of 2 levels of, oh my gosh, we're out of luck. I'm riding so high and we're trying to squeeze back together. 15 minutes left. Like we've been for the last hour racing as quickly as possible. Tim, get in your suit. We'll get the rest of it together. And I was way too hyped. So I asked him I was like, I need to calm down. I need you to hug me for like 5 minutes to just bring my levels down. And it worked. And I was able to get back in the car and the car worked and we were able to race the rest of the weekend. But the long and short of this was there was so much more to it. It's so much more collaborative than we expected. And you have to try everything like 12 different times. And even with this massive win for us, like it was huge. We didn't know how to do this. And then we had another incident in the weekend that like we thought totaled the car and we were able to fix it staying up till 2 a.m. Cliff, what did you learn at the end of the weekend?
Is this the...
Yep. It's we just did the biggest fix in the world twice over. We rocked. We're hot stuff. And
our heroic fix was absolutely fucking nothing compared to what some of the other teams had to pull through just to get on the track for a few hours.
Welcome to realizing how feeble you are.
Oh yeah. Hearing we were like, this is a really big fix. We might be in a little bit of a contender for, the heroic fix. No, absolutely. We are. You do not want to be in a contender for the Heroic Fix Award. That is a career-defining fix if you get the Heroic Fix Award.
No, we literally just watched an episode of one of the race teams who blew through 2 engines. It wasn't at this particular race, it was a different one. It was 3 engines. But they ended up coming to the race without an engine, purchased an engine along the way, ran through, just as a joke, through tech, and the guy hopped out of the hood of the car, right? And then they end up dropping an engine and still raced. That's a heroic fix right there. They show up
Yeah.
without an engine, buying
like-
it along the way.
The
Or
prize
like
you
the-
don't want to win.
The crew that sat in the back of their trailer forging engine mounts out of acetylene torch and a welder. It's like, okay.
Yeah. No.
Props?
We didn't forge parts from steel. We just
No.
replaced parts
Yeah,
and
we
moved the
had
parts
to-
around.
We had to look at Napa to find our part. I mean, that should be a heroic. No.
But I know it's not exactly the fun part, but people find sometimes that to be the fun, challenging part. People kind of get charged over the mechanical part. Some people get excited about the racing, some people get excited about the mechanical. But that's all part of Lemons too. It's just, it's all about, persevering.
Yeah.
24 hours of Lemons literally means you might be up all night.
Yeah.
I think it's like maybe not necessarily fun, but it's satisfying. It's rewarding. It's deeply, deeply satisfying. It's fun when you're out bopping around on the track and you feel comfortable. It's satisfying when you like got back out and it's like, we freaking did this. It works. Let's see if it's more than just like those first few laps are like, is it actually working or is it just me? Like, test the brakes, press on it harder, press on it harder. Okay, we're going to go gentle throttle, 50%, 75%, 100%. Let's go around this corner hard. It's like, oh my gosh, now we can really have fun and really play. And that was something that's like the fun of Lemons also is like the themes and activities. And I've been a Lemons follower for ages. I knew it was going to be fun. Gosh, we didn't have the time for that.
No.
It
No.
gets easier.
I bet
sometimes.
it does. We were learning so much over like between the breaks, but
Fire
also
hose.
everything
Fire
else.
hose.
We didn't have time to do this, and like I know some of our team didn't showed up. Like, okay, what is this theme thing? And now they get it. At the end of the weekend, they're like, oh, we could do this next time. We could do that stupid thing.
The number of, we didn't know this was a possibility. Why weren't we told we could do that? Oh, we weren't supposed to be told that. It's not what you're told you can do. It's what you realize you can do. And we
Yes.
didn't have that realization until after the fact because like if who would have told us?
So
Yeah,
so
it's
going
for us
back
to learn.
going back before we move on too far because we've already started.
Yeah.
When you sign up for a Lemons race or pretty much any endurance race, you have made a contract with the world that you will do anything and everything to get that car back onto the track, no matter what. You are only allowed to throw in the towel if there's just no physical way of you doing it. And by no physical way, I mean no way. We have had parts cars delivered to the track so we could get our parts because we didn't know what was broken. We just knew we were broken. You have to do this or else you don't
Well,
get
no, they
the
don't.
vibe of
have
Lemons.
to.
No.
Oh, yeah,
no.
but
They
this
don't
is what
have to. They don't have
You get in
to.
that mindset where it's like, I will do anything right now to get back out on track. I will spend like it's suddenly money doesn't matter anymore. I will buy another car and take the part. And it's like I knew that there was a parts car in Columbus that I could go and it's a running driving car, and they're like, it probably won't pass emissions. I'm like, I don't care. I will go get that
That's
car and
not
I will
my
drive it.
concern.
So
Emissions are not what I'm worried about right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Bill looks at it as like you must, but
You must.
and most racers do, or I would say, but some are just like I have gone as far as I can. I have to trail this car out of here. It just makes it for an expensive weekend of.
Isn't it
Yeah.
better to bring
It's an
home a car
expensive
that
garage
works?
weekend.
Yes.
But honestly, in Lemons, it's just making the checker. I mean, if you're able to compete and you're able to win a race, that's great. In Lemons, it's just having your car make checker.
Yeah.
And,
And one of the
that's
things that
massive.
I prepared for in the how I decided what spare parts I was going to bring was the can this be fixed in a weekend? If it
Mhm.
takes longer than the weekend to fix, I'm not bringing it. Like theoretically, other people do engine swaps.
Yep.
I don't know how to do an engine swap. I don't,
Oh, you will.
and I'm not going to
Not
learn
yet.
at the track.
Yes,
Like
you will.
I need
There's
to
a few
be able
better
to roll it.
times.
Cliff will teach you.
I'll agree with Phil here.
I am close to guaranteeing that you will learn how to do that at a
Oh, I
lemons race.
know. She's got 180,000 miles on her.
No,
She's
I'm just saying. You have this thing. I'm not going to learn that at the track. No, you probably will. That's where
I
you'll learn
probably
it.
will, and that's but as long as I can, and that's what you said of the rolling it back on the, like that was my thing. Is like that was the thing. It's like I need the car to be able to roll back on the trailer because I don't have a way of getting it home if it doesn't. Like I rented a U-Haul trailer. Like there are certain things that
Depleted
I
uranium.
discovered what my limits were of the if this is, and that's actually another thing that I wasn't prepared for. I didn't understand the full the cost of the investment was something that it's like I knew, racing, you're lighting money on fire. Okay. I know that. And like I had this thing with my team of like, hey, if you like we're all going to share costs to run, but if I'll own the car so that like, whatever, it's easier to like manage that and also lowers the costs. But if you do something stupid and you are responsible for totaling the car, like you close your eyes for 10 seconds and you just drive into a wall, like that's your fault. If you do something very obviously your fault to damage the vehicle, I need you to be responsible for the cost of the car. And so like you have to write me a check for that. And we had a moment where like the car looked like it might have been totaled. And up until that point, I'd been like, okay, $5,000. That's a couple $100 more than I paid for the car because the car was broken when I bought it. So like I put a couple $100 worth, $5,000 for the car, ostensibly. But then I realized I didn't take into account all of the spare parts that are perfect for that car, but will not go on any other race car. It will only go on a Maxima race car. And then I have all these tools that work just on this thing. And it's like, oh no, the cost to replace is either find another Maxima with a roll cage, or it's more than just the car. It's the spare parts. It's like time is getting thrown out. But I didn't realize how much like, hey, I brought a lot of spare parts. Oh no, these are all brand new things. I can't just turn around and get rid of them. And so that was the thing that I had to contend with and still am like contending with. It's like, okay, am I willing to lose all of this? Is somebody willing to compensate? What is the level that's appropriate for our team to decide of like, what is our value and comfort with losses and stuff?
And that's why sometimes you see so many BMWs and Hondas and Miatas is
Yep.
because they're good to ride. They're
Relatively easy.
They're easy and they're plentiful.
Yes.
So there was always going to be a race car that's going to fit that part display,
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah,
So-
I was just talking to a new friend, Bill, a different Bill. Not better, not worse, just a different Bill.
They're all great.
Um,
Don't worry.
And they run Dodge Neons, and
Mhm.
they have like a lot of arrive and drive rental type stuff. And one person, like, they wrecked it a little bit, and he was like, hey, they didn't charge me the cost because I was able to find another one. I was able to find another caged SCCA ready, whatever
Yeah.
race car. Yep.
Yeah.
And they were able to be like, okay, that's a replacement. It's like, I didn't even think about finding a replacement, but that would be so much easier if
Mhm.
just getting another Maxima rather than being like, okay, we're done. Let's find another car, a different car.
Yeah.
But at least Bill gave up on the RX-7s a little bit. So anyway, I hear you
I don't
out
know
there.
about that. I
I
think
hear
he
you.
still
I
has one.
know. I know. He's got. Trust me, he's
I
got more
think
than one. It's just
Oh, no.
where. It's just where they are, not how many there are.
Where they are in terms of like drivability or like physical location across
Sure.
the US.
Check
Okay.
it. Yes and yes.
Drivability, always on the verge of death.
All right.
Exactly. The magic flying Dorito. So in here, you have a couple of things that I wanted to get into before we got too far.
Yeah.
Rolls, and I don't mean like for lunch.
Oh.
Although
Yeah.
Yeah.
both aren't
This
bad.
this is one thing I'm concerned about for you, Tim, is that
Yes.
you are carrying a lot of the weight and the burden of the team. So this is where our team and most teams starting out fail, is that the lead person doesn't delegate.
Say implode. Don't say fail.
Yeah, implode. Okay, I wouldn't say fail. They do implode, they separate and they come back, but it will cause a team to absolutely implode if you
Yeah.
don't learn to delegate.
Yeah, and it was hard, especially for like our team happens to be spread across the country. Literally, the
Hmm.
closest team member was 3 hours away. After that, the closest team member was 10 hours away.
And
So it was a bit challenging, and some of them were going to be flying in. So it was like, okay, how can we? All right, Cliff very generously flew in and helped me do things like loading the car, but like, okay, getting our food. So like, I tried to delegate and try to be like, okay, somebody has to be on the role of cooking, somebody has to be on the role of cleanup, somebody has to be on like, I'm the role of mechanic, and I guess teacher, because at least I've been to one of these races. I know how the fueling stop goes. Like, I'm going to tell you that we have to bring all these things down,
did you
that sort of thing.
practice it before you went to the race?
The fueling, with what team? They all showed up the day of.
Were you there before the race started?
Yeah, with a broken car.
You can fake fuel a broken car. It's just as good as you can.
Yeah. So one of the delegations was like, "Hey, food," and I think that was one of our other learnings was we didn't realize how much time food was going to take.
Yep.
The person who was delegated the food didn't understand. It's like, hey, you got to start the crock pot like more than 4 hours ago. You got to start prepping lunch all this time ahead of time. Like, and of course, we're all heads cut off with our chicken because it's a first new race. But it was like, okay, we had one person, the fuel runner. They were
Mhm.
great. Always could count on them to have the fuel done. That was wonderful. But it was a lot of, I think going forward, hopefully, the delegation will be a little bit easier.
Mhm. Well, like
So,
we said, go ahead, Bill.
well,
The
no,
breakdown.
no, no, go,
Yeah.
because I'm going to a different
Okay.
way.
All right. So the breakdown is obviously, as everybody knows, for our team, is that we have a team leader, which is the organizer, which would definitely be Tim because he's got his finger on the pulse on it. Then you have the mechanic, which he's doubling as a mechanic, but Cliff should take the lead on that. He
One
really
of them.
should.
One of them.
Yeah. One of them,
I
one of
think it
them,
could be
I
Cliff,
mean,
or
you
we've
could,
got
you
another
could,
team member who's a
right,
wizard.
It's tough.
right,
It's
Actually,
tough to do
everyone's a
both.
right.
Those are two that are hard to share.
Yeah.
Right. It is. It really is because what you're doing is you're helping and you're doing, but it's not your priority. You need to give that priority up. Um, and you can assist, you can help, you can do, but you have to give the total responsibility over somebody else. And then we have our sous chef, which is the person that manages the garage. And that's a person that cleans up, makes sure the tools are organized, makes sure that everything is where it needs to be, and just keeps track of everything.
Helps the mechanic.
Right. It helps the mechanic when he needs to help the mechanic. Sometimes that's the sous chef is the person that might be popping tires off, might be checking the air pressure on the tires, might be, the sous chef does very light work.
Might be running around the paddock trying to find a tool you don't have or a
Right.
part you
While
don't
you're
have.
stuck underneath the car, you have the sous chef is over there and he's handing you stuff underneath and he's cleaning things up as soon as you're done because you've already moved on to test the car. So he's in there organizing all that. And then you have the person that's in charge of paddock. And that's the person that makes sure that the trailer is what it needs to be. And then that's the person that gets the food started.
Or
And that,
leads getting the food started. They don't
yeah,
necessarily have to be
they
the
don't have
starter.
to, but they're
Like
in
they can say,
charge of.
this needs to be started. Can you make sure it's done by 8 a.m.?
Right. If there's somebody that's kind of sitting around like doing nothing, I mean, you just help out in a different area. But that's the person that's in charge of, okay, the crock pot, you start lunch at breakfast time in the crock pot, you know.
Or
Yeah.
before
So,
breakfast time.
right. And then as soon as lunch is done, you put the dinner in if you have a crock pot. Because it's going to take that long, a frozen meal to heat up for dinner. So,
Or have a
um,
bunch of crock pots.
yeah, we
Seriously.
usually one or two, no more than two is
Yeah.
needed. But as simple as you can make it, as
Yeah.
hands-on and grabby food as you can, fruit's always good. Snack packages are always good. When Jennifer's our paddock person, and she usually comes up with a wagon full of stuff she just puts right on the table.
Oh yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
prepared, already done. She
Yep.
pre-cooks her bacon. All that stuff is pre-cooked and it just gets thrown on. But honestly, for you guys too, if you can paddock share for a little while, that would be good.
Oh yeah.
I know a
Camp
That
team
share.
was
I know a team that eats at most of the races they race at. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So, Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think if we're heading out to Summit, most likely you guys would be camp sharing with us again. So,
Okay.
I
We
think
talked.
Cliff really appreciated that.
Yeah.
I didn't. No worries.
I
Very
did
much
too,
so.
obviously, but I knew what it was going to happen entail.
So you mentioned roles, and you mentioned earlier how you needed some time, like have a place to go
hmm important.
decompress.
Yeah.
hmm
One of the roles that you guys don't have, but you probably could if you had some more radios, spotters. You can get in a car, you can go around to turn 7, park your car by yourself in a radio, and still be helping the team and decompressing. And you're sitting in
Ah,
an air conditioned car if it's cold. I mean, if it's hot, and a heated car if it's cold. So think about it. I'm not saying you have to have it. It's kind of
that's a
like
good thought.
a needed
Yeah.
luxury item.
Yeah. That was one
Uh,
of the takeaways our team did of like having the
Mm.
decompression time of like, hey, when somebody gets out of the car, they're not responsible for anything
I mean, we
in the
don't even let
next
them.
half hour or whatever.
They're not involved at the fuel stop.
Mm-mm.
The
Yeah,
person.
that sort of thing. It was like,
Yeah.
and that is something I think context that is also helpful here for that was contributed to a lot of our chaos. As a newbie team, nobody stayed in the car for more than half an hour at a time. The
That's
Well,
usual
chaotic. It is
endurance
chaotic.
racing of 2 hour stints, we didn't do that. So we were constantly having people in and out, driver changes, constantly like, okay,
hmm
who's responsible for what? So that added a whole other level of chaos. But it was also very
Yeah.
necessary because being in the car for your first time on track at a lemons race with 100 other cars on track, overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, so like the 20
hmm
to 30 minute stints, I think we all agreed was like good for like starting.
Right.
yep.
But you're right. It does add for chaos. Now when the other teams, they'll break those stints
Yeah.
down to 2-hour stints. They'll work their way up to it. Now when you're doing 2-hour stints, you'll get like an hour in, and all of a sudden you got to be, alert to the fact that you start to wander. Your brain
Yeah.
starts to wander. You start getting complacent on the track. So that is a real thing.
World
So,
needs more alerts, so always be
right.
alert.
But you
Yeah.
guys are doing it. But yes, it did that absolutely did add to your a little bit of your
Oh,
chaos.
yeah.
But when you guys get to your, leveled off, 45 minutes an hour, I think your next stints out ought to be pretty good.
Easy.
It'll give
Yeah,
enough time for everybody to kind of take a breath in between running around back and forth to the car.
Yeah.
for sure. All right. My least favorite part of this, packing and unpacking. Tim, that's not a part-time job, is it?
No, but I was packed 3 weeks before the event.
Mm-hmm.
At
Oh,
least I was
of
all
envy.
of my I was packed. At least everything was in the toolboxes and everything was labeled. The car was done. Well, done until I found the error. All of the stuff was ready to go.
No.
But the challenge that we had was we rented a U-Haul. So nothing could actually be packed in a car or on a trailer until the day before. And gosh, did that stuff get heavy. And I'm so glad that I had Cliff helping me. And that was like something of like, oh, let me make sure to also grab my phone charger. Oh, let me grab like grabbing the stuff out of my normal car to put in the U-Haul. Like there was so much and so many lists.
Cliff, you
Checklists.
were
So,
a VIP. You were
oh
the
yeah,
VIP. Yeah, you were a
Help.
VIP. You were the MVP. You were
yeah,
of the
MVP, yeah.
weekend. That's
And
what
so
I
like
took
that's something
away.
it's like investing in like now I have a vehicle I can tow with and it's a
hmm
van. So I'll be like, yes, I'll be able to throw the big boxes in there a week ahead of time. And I won't have to think about them and worry about them and like be exhausted the day before
hmm
I have to leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I just do want to say that Cliff, your weekend and the way you quietly performed, I would have to say, and I don't mean that to be negative. That was not my intent. It's just that wherever Tim was, Cliff was.
Oh
And
yeah. Yes.
right. But what I'm saying, when things went sideways, there was Cliff. When things needed to get done, there was Cliff. When things were at the trailer and things were going on, there was Cliff. And it like I said, you were in the right spot
Why did he keep
at
breaking
the
all this
right
stuff?
time. I think it was him. But you were there, and I told Tim, and I'm like, don't lose Cliff because he is the core of your team. He's the second part of this team. I mean, you're going to have, teammates that are going to be able to come and be in, they're going to come in and hold on to Cliff. If you're going to pay for Cliff, hold on to Cliff.
I
So,
appreciate the
yeah, you did make a very lasting impression just by showing up the way you did. I have to
it's
say, you know.
the it's I it comes with experience. I was through college. I competed in multiple endurance biking events
Mm-hmm.
with human. We let's build a fully faired recumbent bike and then race it against a whole bunch of other college teams
Mm-hmm.
and see what breaks. Very kind of lemons-esque, a little bit more hostile. Being college students and most of us needing just some
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
escape. But getting in that environment and even in the Lemons environment, just there's a team lead. I'm gonna follow them because
Mm-hmm.
they're panicking right now. That is
Mm-hmm.
probably the biggest thing I
Mm-hmm.
learned is the team lead is panicking. They might not look like it. They are.
Yeah.
all,
Well, I don't know.
all weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really did. I would just say you handled yourself with a lot of grace doing what just moving through the weekend. And it was to me looking over there all the time, I was just like it was very apparent that it was you made an impression. Let's just
Thank you.
put it that way. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And
Thank you very much.
so
No worries.
Yeah, I try to stay on the background. I don't necessarily like being a team lead, but I will happily support.
yeah, it
So
was
before
awesome.
so before we move to the next bullet point that we have here, I just had a question to follow up on what you just said. Was your endurance bike faster or slower than your endurance race car?
Ouch. Ow.
Where Cliff?
Oh,
How high did you go in fourth gear?
Tim's mouth just hung right open, like, oh, damn.
How dare you? I accidentally bought a Fast Lemons car. When I found out, when people started telling me, "Oh, you bought Yuri's old car," and that was quick. I'm like, I don't want it to be quick. I want to be slow. I'm scared.
But then,
So
but then again, it was Yuri's car, so there was another factor that people were thinking.
yeah.
That's true. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you can stay quiet, so I don't want to break up the team. Um, so there seems to be something else that you broke, Cliff. Oh no, maybe you didn't break it. I don't know. You guys had some communication issues. You want to talk about those?
I didn't break the radio. That wasn't me.
We don't know who broke the radio.
What?
We don't remember.
I
We remember
know.
it stopped working. So one of the things that I went in, and another thing that I learned from the Project McCur team, was to have backup forms of communication going on. And so, like, one of the things that they did was like they would flash their lights a lap or two before they came in to the paddock to pit. And I was like, that's great. Let's have backup communication forms. So what I did was I looked at all of the options, and holy heck, do racing radio systems get expensive?
Real
I'm
fast.
trying to keep this as cheap as possible for my team because, like, we had some budget players. I mean, I'm already a budget player on my team, but we had more budget players, and I want to keep it as cheap as possible. So I went with the rugged. I found a rugged radio system, which is sort of a cross between like a Bluetooth and like the NASCAR radio system of, and it's not really, it's no cross between the Senna and the NASCAR race system of like the headphone clip thing, but also the in-ear and plug-in thing. And what it ended up doing, it's the Rugged Radio's BT2 system. And it worked great for us, even with its failure. It's got the push to talk button, it connects to the radio connects to your headset, you've got radio comms. It also has Bluetooth to your phone abilities. So, like, the intended plan was so you can be on your motorcycle and listen to music. And then when you need to get a radio call in, etc. But I was like, let me see if this works for things like Discords or phone calls. Cause like maybe our radio sucks because I've heard of other teams having issues with their radios and it's really hard to communicate with the person. Or maybe the phones. So it's like, let's back up onto the cell phones and like do a phone call or a Discord call and we'll do that. Or maybe our cell tower will suck and we'll need just the radio and we can only use just the radio. But it gave us a chance to do both. And also for our drivers, it was like a $50 to $60 system that they could plug into their rental helmet, which is way cheaper than the NASCAR systems. Those things are heckin' expensive for what is just like mics and etc. So this was like a bit cheaper for our team. What ended up happening was we tore the push to talk button. the connection that connects it to the radio, whether it was somebody removing the steering wheel or it got wrapped too many times, it tore cleanly. But we didn't know that. We couldn't figure it out over the weekend, even though we checked everything. I don't know how I missed it. But we missed it. So the rest of the weekend, so we started the weekend using radios and push to talk, and that worked brilliantly up until it didn't. And so we rapidly transitioned over to using Discord. And that was a great backup for our team. We all had cell phones, we all had Bluetooth headphones over the weekend, and the driver was able to seamlessly connect their phone to the headset, and we just left them on an open mic. So as long as they were in the car, their mic was open and the rest of us were muted. So as soon as they talked, it would come over our channel because the headset system was doing both at the same time. It just, the radio stopped working.
We are so going to talk.
I'd hate to hear Vicki on an open mic for the entire race time. She's going to curse like a sailor.
You say that.
I say a lot of cuss words.
Oh, it's so much fun. We had a lot of but it worked really great for talking things through at the very beginning of like, hey, this is happening right now. I'm doing this sort of thing. A yellow's come out. These cars are out. Some drivers were talking through the things that were happening. Other drivers just went quiet. That was great. It allowed really seamless, endless communication. Because one of the stupid things I did in the first few laps is I tried to use the push to talk button to respond to a question in a corner. Stupid. Nothing happened, but that was stupid of me because I'm like, oh, I got to respond quickly. And now I'm like, that was bad. So it sort of made it hands-free. But the other side of things was at one point I was in the car and somebody had their Discord unmuted and all I got was heavy breathing through my comms, endlessly heavy breathing, and then some like conversations in the background. And I'm like, guys, somebody mute whoever's microphone. I don't know who it is, but it's distracting me. And I almost got to the point where I was like, I need to pull over and like pull into the pits because this is too distracting for me. So both of them had their like strengths and weaknesses. One, the cable tour, the other, some open mics. But then we also had our headlight signaling system. And this was a quick learnings. This was like, that was our third level of let's use the headlights for if all goes to shit, turn your headlights on to let us know you're coming in. But even at then, if you come in and we don't see it, who cares? You're coming in, you're off the track, nothing bad is going to happen. So that's our fourth level thing. But I quickly discovered after going out a few laps, the cars that had their headlights on, I could spot them so much easier in the rearview mirror.
Yep.
They were so much more visible to me. So I was like, I want to be that kid. I want to be the visible one. So I turned it on and that confused the heck out of my team. I was like, we need to run headlights the rest of the weekend. And they're like, Tim, are you coming in? It's like, why are you saying that? Your headlights are on. It's like, oh shit, I made a game time change. I'll explain it later. So that ended up not working at first. So that was one of the things that we learned as well.
So we found a headlight kit that goes into your normal headlights, and you can set a color, or you can set it to change colors, like as a rotation.
Well, I don't know if you saw ours, but ours that would work very well with color rotation. But I actually wrapped our headlights, so they ended up being real colorful. But then Cliff also pointed out a flaw in our headlight system.
If you hit the wall, you have no headlights.
Yeah. When the bumper, when we had to take off the bumper, we took out the headlights, didn't put them back in.
They're not necessary when you're just scrambling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get extra points for race laps finished with headlights. So
nope.
Yep.
But they do look pretty. We get style points.
Exactly. They do look. The car, because they didn't illuminate anything. We weren't running at night, but you could see the car.
Yeah, it's better.
The headlights were glowing in weird colors from a mile away, and you're like, what's that?
All right, next topic with zero in between conversation. We're not going to do any segues. We're just going straight into it. Daily debriefs. You said you found them to be valuable. In what ways?
Cliff, do you want to hit this one?
I mean, it was more of a, because we're all brand new racers, so it was a lot of comparing methodologies, how we were thinking, what we were thinking on the tracks, if there's any cars we should probably follow or look out for, what we were doing right and wrong between driver changes was very, like, the time to reflect and went, that was really bad. how did we not do that badly again? Or this could have been better. How can we sit down and think through it? The critical thinking time of let's sit back and talk through our own actions and just narrow down what is our actual procedures, what are our schedules, how should we have done things, how did we handle things badly? Did any of us accidentally insult someone else? How should we talk about this and deal with it? That was incredibly valuable stuff to just like figure out how do we work as a team better. Of like we're all friends, we all like each other, we all know we can work together, but we can always improve on that front. And the daily debrief definitely helped us figure out that aspect of it, especially as a brand new team.
Yeah. It was a lot of, I feel like it was a lot of not necessarily iterating. It was a lot of like, hey, this went wrong. Oh, yeah, I didn't know we had to do that. Okay, now we know. Continuing, like, how do we not avoid that in the future? Well, we now know that we need to do that.
Or I think our biggest one was we messed up like two refueling things in a row, and it's like, okay, cool. This is clearly a problem now. But we have to make sure this doesn't happen a third time because then it's tradition, and we want good fuel stops as a tradition.
Yeah, it was like is this an organization thing? Well, yes and no. It's just we weren't thinking, nobody had ever done the fuel stops before, and we forgot to grab this thing.
That's how your checklists get quite long because you should be adding all of these so that you'd never do it twice.
Yeah.
Running the part of the daily debrief was also running through checklists of what did work, what didn't work, what was a good idea, what was a bad idea.
It was also Cliff hit on of like what we all needed. Like something is like maybe it was I think one of the things that I expressed in one of our daily debriefs is like, hey, I know you guys are doing your checks after I'm belted in the car. I just need a verbal, I benefit from a verbal confirmation that you've checked everything and that you're good to go. I need a verbal confirmation from both sides of the car that, hey, Tim, you're good to go. It's in your hands now. Not just okay, bye.
We do.
Like, I want you to know you've done your job. You're audibly saying that to me. Or like we had another team member that was like, hey, team, I get overwhelmed after my stint. I need to spend half an hour alone. I was like, great. I love knowing that for you now. I'm going to encourage that and support that.
We do 2 taps on the roof to let you know you're good. Because sometimes cars going by, I don't know if you noticed, there's some cars that are a little loud. It's hard to hear. So we do the radio check, we do everything, we get everybody tied in, we close the door and whack it twice so you know to go.
We will probably have to start doing something similar to that once we're doing driver changes, not just back in the garage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll have a group of cars go by and you are not hearing anybody talk to you. It's not happening.
Yeah.
So
that actually was something where the Discord and Bluetooth came in really handy on our fuel stops with all of our helmets down. Every single person opened up their Discord mic and we were able to quietly, clearly communicate with each other. Be like, hey, I'm doing this. Hey, I'm doing that. Even with the cars blowing by, we've all got our helmets on and our speakers in. And we're like talking into our mics and the other people are hearing it in their mics.
Yep.
So like the first pit change, I was able to walk through my teammates like, hey, this is what we want to do. Like, I know we practiced this in the garage and I explained it there, but like, let's confirm.
all right, so you got a couple other things that I'm not quite sure exactly what you were trying to get to, but I know you were trying to get to something. So not interacting much with the other teams changed the experience.
This is actually, I think, a comment that I have made that got thrown in here. It was we were in the garage. We had these, what was it, 6 teams around us that we were interacting with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But that was our group of people that we were all always interacting with. And like I was talking to Tim, I don't know if it was at the event or a few days ago, where like if we had been down with the other teams and the other paddocks just set up under a few pop-ups and panicking over there, we would have had an incredibly different experience compared to the almost curated experience we had in the garage. Like our garage, that was awesome there. Like what is it over here when we're interacting with more than just 6 teams constantly? Like
Right.
There was like a lot of shenanigans going on. And like we learned at the end of the weekend, like all this stuff was happening in the paddock. We didn't see any of it.
But here's
we're
the
over
thing.
here fixing our stuff, working all of these things, and it's like, okay, over in that area of the paddock, they were doing that shenanigan, and that area they were doing that shenanigan, and ours, We were just desperately trying to fix ourselves.
Well, okay, so the thing is, that is something that's kind of unique to Pit
Hmm.
because the way that Pit is divided up, it's kind of like the whole paddock is almost like a horseshoe,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
There's four
So,
sections really.
Yep.
right. So you won't even know that shenanigans are going on, even if unless you are like literally in the main paddock where they're doing tech, you won't know where anything else is going on.
Yep.
So, and yes, probably down in that other section you may have, but not where you were parked still, because you were still away from everybody. Like if you were dead center, like in front of, where the track is, and you are central, you'll probably have more traffic going back and forth and people double, checking. Um,
But
but then again, yeah, you were
you're
so
probably
new.
not going to have. You're not going to have. Well, you were doing way too many pit stops. I'm not. So you're in and out, in and out, in and out. But
Yeah.
Right.
but if you're in the garages, you'll have that 6 teams, 8 teams that you'll be playing with, right? If
Mhm.
you're out in the general paddock area where you have a tent, it's actually less teams you'll see because you're going to deal with your two neighbors to your left and to your right. So it's even smaller. So it doesn't really matter. It's just there's so much to see you can't see it all, especially if you're doing
Yeah.
pit stops every half hour.
And that
Right.
was
And
some of
and
the
the
things, seeing things like there were some cars that I didn't see all weekend until
Yep.
like the very end in the parade. I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I didn't see that when I was on track.
and that
And
and
it was
that
just like, yeah. And the
that
There's
only
a
is
lot
time
of
I would have
cars.
seen the cars was on track. If we were somewhere where they would have
Mhm.
driven by us, but we were in the far corner where the only teams that drove by us were our teams in the garage, the six
Right.
teams.
Right. And then and that's because that particular garage was up on the hill away from everything. And again, that's a pit thing. Now when we go to Jersey, their garages are almost shaped like an L. So they have ones that sit right in front and then they have another ones that kind of are a little bit like a long ways.
And,
So
and then
but everything is in your face.
but the other part of the paddock that's not garages is in the center square. So you almost have to see everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
So pit is just, you know, it's not a cohesive type of track. But the other thing too is that your team was so absolutely new that um, I think that you probably would have struggled a little bit with just kind of getting to know people and um, unless we were down there with you. It's
Yeah.
always good if you're starting out with a new team if you can, connect with another team that
Yeah.
helps you ambassador your way through and
Yeah.
Oh,
start get to know, introduce new people and
Or
but I
help
would
solve a
say
problem.
right. And I would say that once you guys are in here for a couple years, and it sounds like a long time, but it's only like 8 races, then you're going to start getting to know more people, and the community becomes very enveloping.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
I
see,
And
you
mean,
I
get to
was
know
already,
everybody.
yeah, I was already enveloped by the community before I'd even bought a race
Mm-hmm.
car. And like I got the race car and I was like, I don't even know if it's going to be ready. And it's like, I already got like three, you already were like, we're going to ambassador you. And then the Mercure team was like, hey, you want to be our crew? We're going to have you be our crew and you're going to come
Mm-hmm.
learn with us. And my little, the asked me about our purity test team score. They were the ones who started me on this whole journey. They're like, yeah, we'll help you out. Whatever you
Curse
want to
them
do.
for burning my money.
It's your money, Tim, not hers.
Yeah. Well,
So in a few more races, we'll be like your least favorite team. So don't worry about it. You'll be upgrading as time goes by. It'll be great.
yeah.
nah.
I also want to say,
Go ahead.
with the phrasing, I phrased it kind of as a negative. I did not actually mean that as a negative in the slightest. It was just our experience was really good that weekend. I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious what it could have been in a different location because,
Sure.
like,
Mhm.
Cold.
as you were saying, like
Cold.
cold.
Well,
Like,
you have no idea what pit race can be.
oh yeah, no. I was
Yes,
just
I
saying, like,
do.
we had a really good experience. Cool. Now I'm excited to see what the rest of it is about too. It's like we got the best intro we possibly could have. Let's
Mhm.
now go
Explore.
dive into the deep end. Let's make the mistakes that we probably were spared from making, and make a mess. Have
You will.
fun.
You will.
Love
We'll go through it.
Love that. Get your canopies if you want to be out there, and get a trailer that can hold your stuff. In the summertime, it's fine. Summertime, it's
There will be
fine.
no buying of trailers, but there are rental trailers that are enclosed or a really nice flat. I'm probably not going to go with an enclosed trailer for the next race, but like a nice flat trailer that can put all the
Mhm.
toolboxes on.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can do that. Just make sure you can get the car on and off. That's typically the hard part.
Oh, this lovely little trailer. It's a self-lowering, all
Oh,
aluminum.
oh,
Ooh, it's so nice. And for $100, like it's going to be like $200 for the week. It's like, oh,
done.
yes, please.
Sold.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Somebody's got a karting background. They said race weekend dynamics are very different from karting. Who are we going with that? Is that you, Cliff?
Just about
No.
racing.
No, that was one of our team members who had done a lot of karting.
Oh, that's not the same.
It's not the same, but they also showed up knowing it was not the same,
That's
but
good.
they didn't understand how far. I think
Oh.
that was one of the things they were like, I knew it was going to be different from karting. I didn't realize how much off-track work was going to be done. This person really was like, I just normally just show up, hop in the cart, it works, we can run, it's great.
Good luck
This
with that.
was, I mean, we ran into issues, but we also like ran into so many other things, and like they drove brilliantly all weekend long, and they're planning to come back out with us again, and I'm very excited for that.
That's good.
But it was also like they had a really good perspective on sharing things of like, okay, we need this, we need that, like this is helpful and this sort of thing.
I know the person you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
we all do. They shall remain
Yeah.
nameless for now, but that's okay.
Maybe I don't know if they'll ever come on the podcast, but I know we're going to send it to them. They're a wonderful driver, wonderful teammate. They saved our butts finding they went
They found
to
the part.
Napa. They got the part.
Right.
They were the one who like pestered the person who was like, no, this is not the right thing. We need to find the right part, and they figured it out.
Yep.
Absolute miracle worker.
That would be the job of the sous chef. So,
I like this other part that he put down was endurance racing requires managing the car, team, and sanity.
That was something that like when I invited people on the team, I was like, hey, we need to be able to like racing, you got to control, like manage your ego. There's going to be no egos here. Yeah, there's going to be no getting pissed off. Like I learned about the like, hey, if somebody cuts you off, don't get pissed off. Like that's going to make your racing worse. And that was something I talked about. I was like, you guys all need to be able to like come in and be like, no toxic masculinity here. We're not winning. We're not doing this.
you just got to be Elsa sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
But what
Let it go.
was amazing was we didn't have any of that.
Good.
But
It'll
we
come.
also, the sanity that they're referring to is like what we brought up of the having some downtime, having a place to go back to and hide. We had a teammate that was like, hey, I'm going to turn in for the night. It's 10 o'clock. I need to go to bed. And I was like, all right, cool. I hung out for like another half hour or something. I was like, I need some downtime before bed personally. So I went back and they're still awake with their partner. And they're like, I was like, are you guys also doing the, I don't need to go to bed. I just need to go and have some downtime, laying horizontal, doing nothing, not actually interacting with the people. And they're like, yes.
Called
It's like,
regulating.
it was, yes. And it was amazing. It was like, oh, we're all adults here who are all neurodivergent, who all understand what our needs are. And like my need was like, hey, I need to apologize to you all at the end of the day. When I get frantic and anxious, I'm very direct. I'm not mean, but it can come off as mean when I'm direct with like saying, I need you to do this. There's no pleasantry, and I'm sorry. And everyone
It's
was able
called
to like, okay,
getting
great.
crap done.
Yeah, but it was like we were all like mature in managing that sanity of like, oh my gosh, we're stuck together in the same camper all weekend long, fighting these problems, trying to work together. And my team did spectacularly. And I'm
They
so
really did.
thankful for everyone that showed up and all that they brought to it, because that was great. I was like, all right, I never want to let go of any of you. You're all amazing. Please come race with me more.
No, you guys did really well. No, but like see this stuff here is is when your HPDE training comes into play. Because it's not just learning how to ride on a track. What it's teaching you is that you're having this fire hose experience where everything is important. You are taking it all in and you're feeling all the sensations. And I can imagine for your one teammate how overwhelming that probably was for them, being as sensory as they are. So, but when you start doing HPDE, um, the driver's education, what you're actually doing is you're desensitizing certain things that you're doing and you're moving them into the background. So you're
Yeah.
not thinking about shifting, you're not thinking about your footwork, you're not thinking about the line so much. You know how to drive the line, you know where you're, and at that point, the fire hose begins to stop.
Yeah.
And now what you're working on is carcraft. You're working on racecraft, on how to manipulate your car now and how to manipulate traffic, how to maneuver on traffic, and how to your car placement. You're not worried about shifting, you're worried about car placement now.
Yeah. And I think
And
all of those are things that like we take for granted.
it is.
Experienced people, and also me, because I've driven the car before. It's like we have arrive and drives. They've never been in this car.
Hmm.
Just showing up, I know how to drive stick shift. I remember Cliff calling me in the radio. It's like, it won't go into third gear. Third gear sucks. I'm like, nah, dude, it's just 180,000 miles. It's a shitty old shit box. It's not going to
Was
go
that
in
my fault?
nicely. I think that might have been you.
I don't think it was my fault. I
think
don't remember complaining about third.
it was very early on of like, where I'm have some, it was very early on of like, I'm having issues with third. And it's like, just be gentle.
I was
Like,
complaining about the synchros, but it was not on the track. I was complaining about the synchros after the track.
yeah, and it was just like, okay, yeah, I can't imagine. Like, I've never been in this car. I don't know where the mirrors are. I don't know how the shifter feels, how to get my foot placement, how to, turn. It's like, oh yeah, actually the steering wheel, you drive a little bit crooked the entire time. And then also, I've never been to this track before. I have a full sim in my apartment, in my house, and I've driven this track hundreds of laps. So I actually know how it goes around. I don't actually know the track, but I at least know like, hey, over this hill, there's a curve. Over this blind hill, there's nothing. So you can
it
go
goes
full throttle.
left.
And you know
Or
what
it
the
goes
thing
right.
is that sim racing never takes into account the force that you feel when you're in the car.
Yes. And so it's like it's so much more. And so like, yeah, of course they're gonna go off and like, hit the tire. Like I can't imagine having to think about shifting while also, oh yeah, this corner you go really, really slow for. Sorry, I didn't warn you
Hmm.
about that. But like how else are you gonna find out other than going around the track?
Yeah.
Yep.
And but as arrive and drives, as people get to know the car, and if you take on any additional arrive and drives outside of yours, they should have some driver experience. Having a fresh person just hop in your car, it can be a little dangerous to your car.
Yeah.
But if they're like your own teammates and you're training your teammates and stuff like that, that's a different story, But track time, invaluable outside of racing
With
Yeah.
instruction.
with
And that's what
instruction.
what we're planning on doing is just giving everyone some seat time. Well, our
Mhm.
newest arrive and drive is going to come up in September. Our newest teammate, and they're going to just like go to Nelson's Ledges and turn some laps
Yeah.
and just go drive the car. Because I was like,
You're in the perfect spot to join NASA Great Lakes.
yep,
They
yeah,
are the best,
yeah,
I would have to say, of education when it comes to the NASAs.
yeah.
Um,
So we're gonna get them set up just with like some experience.
and
'Cause,
it's a
like,
nice weekend. It's a nice
oh
weekend.
yeah,
It's an
yeah.
easy weekend. It's a chill weekend, and they could just fly in for that.
Oh yeah.
And you could practice all your paddock work too.
Might need to do a little bit of that. That's definitely something we're going to talk about. We're gonna establish some processes as a team
Yeah.
of
But
like
it's
things to like.
definitely lower key if you do it that way. It's
Yeah,
definitely lower key. And then, sometimes they can even bring a rental car on if they want it. Well,
I
probably
mean,
not.
that's in the
the
OnlyFans
Maxima's
version of
the
this.
Maxima is
Or
okay.
yeah. So
Garage Heroes
It does
OnlyFans
good.
sign for how to get onto an HPDE, but that's a different story.
no,
Yeah.
you can
Uh,
can't do
so
that.
so fellow friends were on the podcast.
Mhm.
First time at a race. It's an okay thing. You like it?
Yeah.
You enjoy yourself?
Yeah.
I think
Did you get your adrenaline pumped?
I spend more time with adrenaline off track than on track.
I witnessed that.
That's fair. Not
There were
unexpected.
1, 2,
Mhm.
3 or 4 massive peaks off track that were then followed almost immediately by, okay, time to get on track.
Yeah. So,
So,
but your car ended up having to go to the shop.
yep.
So what kind of damage did your car experience after the crunch?
So after the crash, basically everything on the car got shifted over to the right about an inch or
Hmm.
two. And this car had previously been crashed on the right side. Um, and the car came to me with wonderful geometry of it is zero point 0.9 inches shorter on one side than the other, like wheelbase wise. And we'd
Okay.
come up with some fun, funky stuff. Previous owner of like bent control arms to like give us some more caster, all that. But it was established.
Right.
After this crash, basically the wheelbase didn't shift at all. The strut towers didn't shift, but everything, all the frame rail on the right front side of the car, and the cross member in the front of the car were shifted and basically had to be rebuilt.
Right.
Wait, the strut towers weren't shifted?
They are within OEM's measurements. I could not believe it myself because part of the crash we discovered the exhaust pipe was now touching the oil pan. So
Oh,
we had to bash the exhaust pipe out to give it some clearance, and like somehow it was touching it, and like stuff further on down the lane didn't get bent. So like how is this happening? We don't understand the physics of this sort of thing. But now maybe they pulled it out a little bit. I don't understand. There's more gap there than it was. Maybe they told me that it's all good now. I don't know. But they did some magic and they rebuilt a lot. The strut towers to me look the same, but the hood closes better. The car handles straight. They're still, you're still driving down the street like a little bit cockeyed because apparently that's just how it is. But turn-in is still wonderful. There's no dead zone, but the team, our immediate fix, did a ton of work, and then the frame shop did a ton of work. And the car is now, I took it to a track day and it did perfectly fine. I didn't notice anything. All the turn-ins felt good to me. As much as I'm not a professional, so what do I know? But it wasn't hard to drive it, and it was a lot easier than the last time I took it to that track where there was like so much dead zone. But yeah, I think we're in a good position to actually go back to the race, and that's one of the things I'm like, okay, don't break the car before the next race. Don't break the car before the next race. Well, we need to get people in the car to practice in the car, but don't break it.
right.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
So the question of are you going to do this again? Did you get your fix? I guess we can skip that. So when's the next race?
Our next race is at the end of October at Summit Point, West Virginia. We're going to be
Yay!
taking our full team out there. We're going to be celebrating my birthday. We're going to be celebrating Halloween. We're going to be celebrating our second race now that we have some idea of what we're doing, which means I think there's going to be a lot more stupid theme going on.
Hopefully.
Now that you understand.
Now that we understand.
Yay, stupid theme.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, we're queer shifting gears. I hope that we get a good more turnout of folks that like want to come out and from the community that feel comfortable, that want to explore what it is. We had one of our newest teammate is somebody that came out to the race while we were in Pittsburgh and was like, "Hey, what's this all about? I'm curious about this." And then they followed up after the race and they're like, "This seems pretty cool. I would like to join your team if you'll have me."
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So the one thing I'm going to kind of finish things off with was what went right.
I got one after that. So,
okay.
Or actually, let me go before you do your one.
Okay.
Be careful on the next race because now you think you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? I'm not saying you know what you're doing, But when you start thinking you know what you're doing, is when things go really bad. Because
Right.
I'm not throwing any dispersions against you and the quality of your driving and the racing and the quality of your car, but I am. You have no idea what you're doing yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
Right. There's a
So
lot to learn.
Well, that is actually one of the things that we learned that Cliff put really well.
I don't remember what I said.
The first thing that's on the list, the number one thing that you learned the second we showed up and got on track.
Oh.
Yeah, we suck at driving. We did
Yeah.
not know how much we sucked at driving. We really sucked at driving.
We knew we would be worse than everyone else.
Oh.
We didn't know how much worse.
Oh, wait. Take our driver's license away, goddamn.
Yeah. And so I think you're absolutely right of like, we now know how far we have to go and how little we truly know. Like, I didn't know what drive predictable meant.
Mhm.
Now I know it's like, okay, aim for the line when available, and when not available, aim for around the line for safe passing because it's responsible, it's on you. And if there's somebody's behind you, they're responsible for a safe pass, but you can give them a point by and let them know you see them and move over, but make sure to communicate that. And like, I wish I'd known that.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'm going to try that.
It's not a bad thing. I just, the Dunning-Kruger curve, you are literally right now at the peak of Mount Stupid. So you know that you don't know everything, and you know that there's a whole bunch of stuff that you need to learn, right? But even that minorly understates it because you don't even know what you don't know. There's a whole bunch of other stuff too, and you'll get there. It'll be fun.
Yeah. And but now that I did mention about getting together for like a NASA weekend, but you guys can go ahead and do that even in your own states because they're all over. Cliff, wherever you're at right now, just go join a NASA because they're in every region and you can drive your daily to do it.
No,
That'd be hilarious.
Cliff, can you drive your daily?
If it won't tip.
It's Gen 1 Tacoma.
It won't
They'll make it around the track.
No,
it won't. Yeah.
There was a Gen 1 Tacoma at pit race at the Lemons. I missed the stance of it, and I wish I'd seen it, but
I mean,
we had an instructor who was driving a Durango.
A Durango's about twice the horsepower of a Gen 1 Tacoma.
I'm not talking about horsepower. It's a 5,000 pound. Yeah,
they are.
So
hey, your Tacoma isn't lifted. It's stock ride height. Ye olde tiny shorty.
Where are you at, Cliff, by the way? What's your state?
I'm now out of Seattle.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's almost the same as Cleveland.
Yeah, right.
So close. So here's where you need to go. Cliff, I'm giving you homework.
Yeah.
You need to go to the Ridge.
The Ridge?
Yep. That's your homework.
See Cliff writing this down.
Find a track day at the Ridge.
Yeah. I mean, it also helps that I have a few friends up here that I also now just learned are making a Lemons team. So
there you go.
Oh,
sounds like somebody from Cleveland's going to be taking a flight out. So that'll be fun.
I've been trying to convince them.
There you go.
Okay. You can race with my friends.
Oh my God.
Oh, I want to race my friends.
That sounds like something we can plan for next year.
There you go.
But I'm sure we can convince the other folk of our team to come out to Seattle.
Oh, yeah. Like, they won't have to tell. I'm going to be the one making the cross-country trip, but at least
I'll help with that. Don't worry. I'll fly out to you and we can drive back together.
There you go.
Gosh, that would be hilarious. No, that would be fun. Or like a race in the middle. I don't know. We can come up with some stuff.
All right. Sounds like we've got plenty of stupid ideas. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We've done our job.
Oh, yeah.
Vicki?
Yes. So what went right?
I mean, the rightest thing, A, we survived. B, we overcame some obstacles that we weren't expecting and we didn't think we could overcome. And C, we finished the race where everyone told us you're not going to finish the race as a first-time team, but we did it. We didn't just finish on the last lap. We did the entire Sunday under power.
That's very good.
Came in 79th place and were ranked, what was it, 4th in the East Coast.
Okay.
I think we were ranked fourth.
Fourth in the East Coast for what?
Lemons, they do points.
Oh, for points.
And at that time, after that race, where there were only
It was
three
the first
races
race,
of
Bill.
the season, we were ranked fourth.
Let them have it.
For a moment in time, we were ranked. No, we finished the race, and that was
Yeah.
a huge win for us. Was the
Didn't
fact
that
that we
feel
actually
good
finished.
coming through and driving through? Yeah, that's
I
pretty
am
awesome.
envious of the individual who got to take the checker flag.
Aw.
I probably should have gone back out because I had only been in the car once that day. They're like, yeah, or whatever it was. It was like, yeah,
They deserved
But-
it.
they were driving great and they deserved it.
Okay.
I'm only a
Excellent.
little bit jealous.
So
All
Cliff,
right.
Cliff, what went right for you?
Honestly, I want to say basically everything. It was a good weekend. That was like I came out here to have fun. My expectations were trying to keep them tempered. Everything was surpassed. That was just a really good weekend. That's what went right. It's like I want to do it again now, and that's
Yeah,
what I wanted out of it.
that's good. That's good.
So can I nominate a new team name for you guys?
Sure.
I'm not picking on the team name as you have. I'm just thinking, philosophically, after our discussion, I think it would be appropriate for you guys to be called the Heroic Fix Junior team.
What about like Pee-wee? What's below junior? Like
yeah,
Pee-wee
I mean,
soccer? Like
yeah,
Padawan?
Fix
Baby
Pee-wees?
Baby Ruth. How about Baby Ruth?
Yeah,
We'll have a candy
baby
bar.
fixes.
Yeah.
We do little fixes
Yeah,
because we're just baby.
tiny tykes. We could do the Heroic Fix tiny tykes.
Oh
Right.
my God.
Well, I was gonna say what went wrong, but I think we just went
we
over
can-
a lot.
We could
Okay.
do what went wrong. What was the
Highlight wrong?
or things you would do differently knowing what you know now?
That was going to be the other one. What would you do different? Or what went right, what went wrong, and what would you
No,
do differently?
story time.
Oh yeah.
The ugly.
Oh yeah.
I think most of what went wrong was post race for us.
In what way?
Kind of going back to we suck at driving, and we need to take accountability that we really suck at driving. And not acknowledging that we suck at driving can make some very interesting situations with some other teams.
So
Post-race.
I'm reading between the lines. We may have
Yeah.
had a teammate who believes that they are still God's gift to driving, in spite of
Yes.
evidence to the contrary. Okay, very good.
Yeah, that's the between the lines.
Everybody
Yeah.
at home at the Lemons family who knows exactly what you just said, they know exactly what you just said. So
Yeah.
okay, we don't have to go too far into that.
We're not going to go different. We're not going to take a deep dive into that. But listen,
Everybody knows it happens.
yeah, when your crash happened, you did do the right thing. You did do
Yeah.
the right thing. I want to let you know that you did. You hunted that team down and you acknowledged the error of what had happened, and that was huge. And that is really important. That builds community. That reinforces a
Yeah.
community. So that was good.
And finding the team, it was an interesting sense of like,
Because their car's not there. It's hard to find them.
yeah, well, it's not even that. It's like going in and talking to them and just like seeing how are they recovering from it was also like oh no, this is a thing that happened. We can deal with this now and later. We need to get our cars back up and running.
Right.
And that attitude of oh no, what's happened. We're racing. This happens in racing. Lemons is everyone's at fault in a crash at Lemons. This is our
Right.
problem too.
Right.
So let's get on the road and put this behind us and get as many laps between
hmm
this and the end as we possibly can.
So I was very much told very early on in a racing, it's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Okay. Just, at some point, I'm not saying you're going to total your car, but you will crash into something or somebody will crash into you. Little or big.
And try to realize, because sometimes you're perceived to be on the pitching end and sometimes you're believed to be on the receiving end. Try to remember that the person in the other car did not go to the track thinking, I can't wait to drive into that car. That was not the plan.
Yeah.
There's a few people that you may think that was their plan. Look at what they're doing, but that wasn't their plan. So,
Right.
No, and
So
it's a sense of community, and it's also the to apologize to them directly and then to be apologized to, like that there's almost a sense of closure there. It's like this happened, and if that
yes, yeah,
does.
uh,
It does.
no, but you guys handled it well early on, put it that way. I don't know. It kind of a little sideways later, but you guys ironed that out too, so that's fine. Um, so what would you do
Tim,
differently?
Tim, 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 Tim.
Oh, Tim, Tim, Tim,
Tim.
Tim,
Yeah.
Tim.
Tim gets
Sorry.
to
So I've
answer
been
what was
thinking
bad.
about that,
What
and
was bad, Tim?
what was bad for me, it sort of feeds into this a little bit, but for me, it was the not necessarily communication of expectations or communication of values and shared values. It's the I communicated expectations, I communicated values. Like, hey, you don't get in the car if you're being a dickhead or you're being angry, like that sort of thing. Like, we all agreed to that. And everyone says, yes, we all agree to that. Hey, if you crash the car, you write me a check for the car or you find a replacement. Okay, yes, we all agree to that. That doesn't necessarily mean everyone actually agrees to it.
No.
Even if somebody has read the agreement, they acknowledge the agreement, they they put their money where their mouth is on that agreement, that is not necessarily always the case. And it sort of like shattered a little bit of my trust in humanity, of just like in general, like I know people come from different values and different backgrounds, and that's why I set these expectations up front real quick of like, we are not here to win, we are not here to be the best, we are here to learn, we are here to have fun. If you can't handle it, and like I said a bunch of other things, and if you can't handle it, there are so many other teams. I am not the right team for you. I am here to be queer shifting gears and to learn and to be modest. We're not here to go fast, we're not here to race. I told one of my drivers at one point, like, hey, dude, I need you to slow down. You're doing great, but chill out just for my sake.
slow
And
down,
like,
relax, and they put down the fastest lap time as soon as you told them to chill. That's how
and
it
they
goes.
did.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, and that's
I'm
okay.
serious.
And like over the weekend, they built that trust up. But at first, I was like, I'm terrified. Please slow down. But it's the hey, we're all here to learn, and it's the I set these expectations, and and as we just mentioned earlier, some people don't follow through on those expectations. Following race weekend, the agreements, these ideologies didn't necessarily translate through, and not everyone came to it with a learning mindset and like an understanding and accountability. But we also ran into this issue well before the race started as well, with somebody that wasn't on that was on our team and then wasn't. And I couldn't have communicated myself more times and gotten an affirmative and a yes. And like, that's challenging to me because I don't know if there's a fix for that, because it's
Well,
either somebody is lying to themselves, they're lying to you, or I haven't figured out another alternative to
well,
it.
this is all part of team building.
Yeah.
So this is just your first time out to kind of feel what your team is going to evolve into. So your team will probably morph, a little bit.
And that's
And
why I'm
can
so desperate to keep these people on, because I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys are great. I
Yeah.
need them.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
wasn't
They get it.
there
But
was a rather interesting, like
I
with
th-
Tim thing and what you're
you
sorry.
can charge more now.
oh,
I'm just kidding. Well, Tim, if you want me to race with you, that's going to cost, I don't know. Let me think.
Wasn't quite that. What I was going to say is the learning, the lemons, the officials that we were working with at the race, like during tech and all that other stuff, asking them for advice for how to work as a team was not something I was expecting to do. And hearing their stories of what other teams have done and how they got around it, or the outcomes of various decisions teams have made, they have seen everything. And like anything that we have been going through, it's they'll have empathy for it, but it's like it's another one on the charcuterie board.
Another,
Yeah.
did you say
But
another one
they
on the
still provide the
charcuterie?
advice.
I did, yeah. No, it's another fun thing for them to pick up, look at. They'll have some fun with us, but it's like they have so many other teams to work with. But like they will happily sit down with us and talk about it and actually give us their perspective on their experiences with all of it. And it's like they have such an insight from such a small perspective of what we're doing, and it's like, yeah, we should have leaned on them more. And
Yeah.
with what went wrong, that was one of the biggest learning experiences of there are resources that we could have leaned on a little bit harder.
Yeah. They were yeah, I can't believe we haven't hit on that. Is they were amazing. Was leaning on the organizers. I was emailing them months ahead of time, asking questions, and they were such in-depth, thoughtful, cohesive answers. Always amazing. I'm so glad I chose Lemons for our first race, and like we'll continue to choose them. But wow, did they provide such amazing support, even when it was like, okay, we've seen this before. This is what like it was always here's what we suggest, here's why, here's the things that we've seen, here's some different ways about it, here's some advice. It was constant, so well done. They were managing us when I didn't even know we were being managed. They were amazing.
Yeah, joy. They know how to manage. Wow. Yeah,
It was brilliant all weekend long. And they were so supportive and like we could flexible with our issues and it was endless greatness from them.
God, their ability to ask a question to get an answer that you don't even know they're asking a question about is wild. Like, I should take management, like group management classes from the Lemons people. Like, wow.
Yeah, they are good. They are very good. They are it's why we keep coming back. I mean, I honestly say that and I always refer to it as it's like playing sports on a Sunday before, when you're just kind of joking around with your friends.
Yes.
You're still competitive. You're having a great time, but you're having a great time.
It's fun competitive. It's not fun competitive. I'm here it's to silly win. I'm here to play with you.
Right.
Yes.
And they all want to see you succeed. They all want to see that car back on track. They all want to see your team do well. It's a great league to start at.
Yeah.
There might be a time, people have outgrown the league and have moved on to other leagues. But the community here is just it's so welcoming to new people and new racers, and they want to see you do well.
We're in that population as well. Most of the teams in the paddock are.
Yeah.
I won't say 100%, but 90, high 90s. I'll take that.
Yep. So now, what would you do next time for improvement? Your big improvements.
Where if you don't have a solution, what is your area that you need to work on?
I've got mine. You want a moment to think, Cliff?
I will need a moment to think. Yeah.
Vamp for him, Tim.
The overarching one is more organization. More organization in like team delegation of like, hey, I don't want to think about cooking all weekend long. Handle it. I will do the shopping order, but you need to do it. I don't want to think about it. I just want it to happen. Or the more tables to set stuff down. More tables. Like I had all my little lists on my totes, but that wasn't helpful when I didn't have anywhere to put them. Just more organization. I've already started it with organizing all of the charging things that we've done. Like
that was very good.
Yeah, the more things that I can organize and
it makes your life
take
easy
off the plates and more information. I think getting our team on the same page of like establishing processes for like fuel stops, driver changes. I think assuming even with our team having done this once before I'm going to just like assuming everyone knows nothing again and be like, okay, let's have a team meeting ahead just to talk about fuel stops. Let's have a team meeting just to talk about driver changes. Let's just get everything in the air so that there's no like, hey, I'm going to tell you all this and assume that you remember. Nope, let's just talk and like establish it and we're all on the same page.
So for your organization, speaking from painful experience, you can organize everything you want. Doesn't matter. If the other people don't know what the organization is, it falls apart. So you need to make sure that the other team is aware of what you do. And ideally, the persons is the position of the sous chef. They really need to know it, like, because they're going to be the person going to get stuff, or they're going to be the person putting stuff away, or keeping things organized for the mechanical lead. And if things go well and the car runs perfectly and you don't have any issues, fingers crossed, right? Then the mechanic can do that because they've got time. But if something happens, when something happens, the mechanic is going to be what they need to do to get the car on the road and back on track. The sous chef is the one who keeps everything so that you don't sit there and say, where's the 10 millimeter wrench? You know, because you can spend an hour looking for a tool, or you know where it is because you put it away. And I would recommend perhaps having a bucket of some type, something, where when a tool is used, if somebody doesn't know where to put it, just put it in a bucket. And then somebody will know where to put it at some point. But then at least you know where everything is. It's not all around on every flat surface.
Have I told you the sexiest tool that one of my teammates
I don't like to brag
offered
about
to
that.
bring and all of us got behind? One of my teammates has a commercial label maker
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
that does QR codes and
Mhm.
everything.
Mm-hmm. You're talking Bill's language. I'm telling you that right now.
We have 10 boxes of like 2 packs of rolls
Mhm.
of labels to label everything. And that's actually something that's like, I have 2 toolboxes plus 2 giant toolboxes, and I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out a way to reasonably get the third toolbox in
I see your
travel.
label. I see your label maker, and I will raise you. I have an industrial label maker that prints on heat shrink. So if you ever want to get your wiring
Yeah.
labeled,
So,
I have labels for all of my wires that I apply,
so I have
sir.
taken
heat shrink,
years
heat
of
shrink,
drafting
though.
classes. I've taken years of drafting classes, so I have a very fine, blocked right. All of my containers have exactly that. They're tools that are come in the containers, like little boxes, whatever they come shipped in. Um, say for instance, like caps to the oil pressure gadgets, or uh give me a name of some of the things we have in the cabinet, Bill.
Uh,
Lug
hundreds of.
nuts, lug nut sets, whatever. But I have them all written on the side, and they're filed like books. So I can see everything in the cabinet like a book, and all their shelves are
Yes.
organized.
Every
So,
single one of my toolboxes has a label on the drawer of what's
right,
in there. And it's very
right,
clearly written, or it's written in a way that's meaningful.
right.
So instead of just like screwdrivers, it's screwdriver, but then the minus on one side, the plus on the other for the Phillips, or the all of our pry bars and big tools in the big
Hmm.
drawer because they don't fit anywhere else. That's the long boys drawer. You're never
Hmm.
gonna forget. Oh, long boys, got it.
Yeah, Bill has two cabinets on the bottom, says we be grilling, we be drilling, we be grinding, or we be
I
cutting,
like that. We've
and
got Electric
everything that goes
Avenue.
in there related. Yeah, Electric Avenue, But no, that everything in our shop is labeled and makes it's categorized. So it's almost like a little library that you go through, and you can find all the sections of it's all sectioned off. There's a paint section, there's a car craft section, there's you know, um, a
Vinyl.
cabinet that has all of our, brake stuff in there. So everything is labeled. Everything is labeled, or everything is written on in neat handwritings. But organization is so important, and the sous chef's job equally as important. I wouldn't pressure him on how to do it so much as like in your way of how to do it. But if he is like a super organized person, or an organized person in general, let him come up with a system that works with him.
The
Let it.
sous chef that we had for our team, who kind of just took the role and ran with it, has a very
Mm-hmm.
particular system with how they do things.
Yeah,
To be fair, they're an airplane mechanic for their main job, so they
there you
have
go.
to be. They are
What a great
organized.
job.
Yeah,
They
they
brought tools as well that are so much better.
they
Nice.
yeah no they're
They were a
full
wizard.
sets is
That's a
Yeah.
good job.
They were the
That's a
best
really good
Sue
job.
mechanic ever.
very frustrating when it came to putting on and taking off cotter. They put on cotter pins in such a way that was incredibly frustrating to take off, but they would never come off on intentionally.
Well,
They
They
that's
also
awesome.
Yeah.
So while you're there though, those tools that he has that are very, very nice,
Those are his.
those are his. And I'm not recommending they be brought to the Lemons race, not through anybody taking them. It's just if they get misplaced, because you realize what goes on.
This is why he
It's-
took over as sous chef, because if he handed out one of his tools, it was handed right back.
Yeah.
And
It would not leave their sight.
right. And here's another thing that we've learned about going to a lemons race is don't bring your top tier tools.
They're
What?
not stolen.
They're not stolen. They
It's
get
just
lost
Top tier
or
tools? What's a top
borrowed.
tool?
Top tier.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
expensive. Don't bring your snap-ons. Don't bring
If you have
your Yeah.
You assume we have top tier tools.
right. No, but some people do.
I just bought a
Some-
working ratchet wrench after having shitty ratchet wrenches for the last ever. And
So
finally, my sous
Yeah.
chef was like, "Tim, here, use mine." And then I experienced what a working one is. I was like, "Oh, you don't
This
have
is-
to spin it
this is
180 degrees just to
nice.
get it to work. I
No.
can work it in a small area."
No,
Mhm.
that's why it's supposed to ratchet and not, spin.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying people steal them, but people do
No, but they get misplaced.
borrow and accidentally, or they get mixed up with other people's
Or
stuff.
they
and-
forget, or somebody else's sous chef puts their stuff away and doesn't realize that's not ours and puts it away, and then nobody finds
Mhm.
it, and then 2 years later, like, I have this wrench, where'd it come from?
right.
And
So,
it
yeah.
happens.
But we've
Oh.
learned not. We did at one point bring top tier tools. We had a
It got
Sonic
expensive.
kit, yeah, and we're just like this is expensive to do. So, like your Craftsmen are okay, and your Huskies are okay,
Cobalt.
and Cobalt, but leave your Snap-ons and your
we don't bring junk, but we bring like the mid-range, value tools. We don't bring the
Mhm.
pricey
I
ones.
don't know if my tools have brands on them.
That's fine.
At least
That's
for
fine.
my sockets. I mean, I just bought an Icon wrench.
There you go.
And then
Those
I
are
have
quite
some
nice.
yeah,
tools.
that's good.
They're not that expensive. At
Icons
least for me, they weren't. But all my stuff was just
We like
came
Icon.
with hand-me-downs.
Nope, it's fine, and that's great. And some of the
It
older
worked.
tools are better for sure.
Yeah.
And you got out there on track, and you finished the race.
Yeah.
So congratulations. We knew you guys could do it more than you knew you could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
so proud, so proud.
Some more baby
We're gonna
birds
try to
have left the
finish a
nest.
second one is the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Finish another.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that. Hopefully, our
Yeah.
schedules will allow us to get out there. It is the plan.
Yeah.
But as you have learned for lemons, sometimes the plan may not exactly go according to plan.
and that just makes it just adds texture.
Texture, sure.
Extra.
Whatever. Okay. Well done. Hope you guys had a great time. It was
Mhm.
great working
Thank
with
you very
guys.
much for having us
Yeah.
on.
No, and it was great having you at the race. And we tried to help a little bit, but it's weird when you're helping, especially a new team, because it's easier just to do it for you, but that doesn't help you. So we have to kind of figure out what to do or where the line is.
Yeah.
But, as always, if you need stuff in the future and we're there, just let us know. We'll do it whatever we can.
We appreciate
Mhm.
that. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you've been so helpful. These resources have already been so amazing. But I guess that's the whole reason of this podcast is like just a couple things. Like, what does predictable mean? Bill?
I know what it means.
you
It
guys are good.
depends.
It depends.
Yep.
It depends.
You guys are going to
simple.
be just fine. You guys are going to be just. I have all the faith in you guys.
You know what
I
my
will
favorite
take
part's
that
going to
with me
be?
to the grave.
What's that?
It's going 2 or 3 years from now. They're going to be like, knowing what's going on, and they're going to hopefully they'll adopt a team and they'll help the team. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to forget the stuff they don't know because they know too much. And that's the hardest part about this podcast is what don't we know that we didn't know back then, and remembering it, because eventually it becomes natural. It's like, oh, of course, if you want to do this, you just blah, 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 and it's done. And Everybody knows that. Nobody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Not unless you've done it 5 times. So
yeah,
it'll be fun.
Yeah. You have forgotten more than we know.
Yeah.
At least right now.
yeah, probably true.
If you want to learn how to fix a car, get a Lemons car because they break a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
What did we
learned
always say?
so much.
You don't learn from a car that's not broken. Just gonna say.
My first fun car that I ever bought was the purpose of like, oh, learn how to work on cars, also have a fun car. I'll get something simple, minimal electrics, the basic. So I got a 1959 MG MGA.
Mm-hmm.
For the 3 years that I owned it, it didn't break down once. The only thing that went wrong on this car was a burnt out tail light. Everything else was immaculate, and I drove the nuts off of that thing. This is my car that I'm learning how to fix things on. Finally, I have one that breaks.
Trust me, if you would have kept your Lucas Electrics going for a little bit longer, it would have said, hey, those cars.
Mm.
You say that, but it's the most reliable car I've ever owned.
There you go.
You know what that means? You buy shitty cars.
Well, then we
Thank
are
you.
going to see you guys at Summit.
Yep.
Well, wait.
So,
Hold on. Was that a
yeah.
commitment by my mechanic?
I think that we're going to make Summit because
Okay.
it'll
I
be.
think you
I
can get
haven't
the
been
car
to
done.
Summit. Yeah, I
It's
think
only
I
been
can get
broken
my
since
car
August.
done. Yeah, I got to get my car done. I got to come up with a new theme. And actually, that's the hardest part right
It's
now.
easy. I already got one. I'm ready.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Can't wait to
Well, we
volunteer
don't
my
have
theme.
to change our theme. We're going even harder, is what our theme is.
Nice.
Bigger, better, faster.
You think
Right.
we're going to change that paint job?
No, that's
No.
a gorgeous paint job. So
No,
Right.
indeed. Well, hopefully your car will measure the same distance on the left and right sides from now on, and maybe not. But anyway,
yeah.
thank you guys for starting this out, and thank you for coming to the race. And we're hoping you guys enjoyed it and enjoyed a little bit of our slice of stupidity. And we will see you at some point. Apparently, my car's going to get fixed. Woohoo!
It is. I'm going to get ready to hop in.
Thank you guys.
So, thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.